two souls are not competing for your attention. They are revealing the truth of your heart. One brings calm you can feel in silence. The other brings questions you can't ignore. And as the illusion fades, you will realize this was never about choosing between two people. It was about finally seeing who was real all along. My dear child, there are two people in your life who care about you far more deeply than you may currently understand. Yet one of them is holding something back, something unspoken that could shift the direction of your life in a major way. Do not turn away from this message too quickly. Stay until the end, because there are layers of truth here that are meant to reach you fully, not halfway. Something important is quietly approaching your life in this season, and it deserves your full attention. One of these individuals thinks about you every single night without fail. In the silence of their own world, your name rises in their thoughts like a soft prayer, something almost sacred and constant. Much of what they feel, much of what they reflect on, is tied to your well-being, your smile, and your happiness. If you currently find yourself between two different people, consider this a moment to remain aware, because clarity often reveals itself only when we stop forcing answers and start observing patterns honestly. The second person also carries a strong emotional pull toward you, one they struggle to ignore or dismiss. But unlike the first, their feelings are wrapped around something they have not revealed. There is a secret they are holding close, and it weighs on them more than they show. Whenever they are near you, or even think about you, something inside them reacts strongly, almost uncontrollably. Deep down, they already sense that if what is hidden finally comes out, the entire dynamic between you could shift in ways neither of you is prepared for. And you have felt it too, haven't you? That subtle but persistent awareness that two very different emotional currents seem to surround your life right now. One feels steady, calm, almost like coming home to something familiar. The other feels intense, magnetic, and at times emotionally overwhelming, pulling at your attention even when your inner peace resists it. Yet, despite the contrast, there is something about both that keeps your awareness tied to them. These two presences are not random. It is as though both have remained connected to your path for longer than you consciously realize. One feels like a bond rooted in something pure, aligned and quietly protective. The other feels more like a lesson unfolding, something wrapped in confusion, timing, and unresolved emotions that have not yet been fully brought into the light. Do not rush past this understanding. What you are sensing is not imaginary. One of these connections carries genuine emotional clarity, even if it is not loudly expressed. The other is shaped by something heavier, unspoken regret, unfinished emotional history, or a truth that has not yet been admitted, even to themselves. On the surface, it may look composed, even affectionate, but underneath there is tension waiting for a moment of release. You may have also noticed changes in your inner world lately. Perhaps your dreams feel more active, more crowded, or emotionally charged in ways you cannot easily explain. Maybe you wake up with a lingering sense that someone was thinking of you, or even reaching toward you in some unseen way during the night. These experiences often reflect emotional energies you are processing subconsciously, long before logic catches up. One of these energies brings calm when you tune into it. It feels grounding, like a quiet reassurance that does not demand anything from you. The other creates uncertainty, questions that appear without clear answers, emotions that rise and fall without stability. One connection gives without expectation. The other holds on tightly, sometimes out of fear of what might be revealed if everything comes to light. Now you are entering a phase where clarity becomes unavoidable. Situations that once felt confusing will begin to define themselves more clearly. The truth does not arrive to disturb you, but to realign you. And in this process, what is real becomes easier to recognize, while what is uncertain begins to expose itself through inconsistencies. The person who genuinely values you will bring you a sense of emotional ease. Their presence will not leave you questioning your worth or second-guessing their intentions. Instead, their energy will soften your inner world. Meanwhile, the one carrying a hidden truth may eventually reveal it, not through perfection, but through a moment of pressure, an unexpected slip, or an emotional breakthrough where the mask can no longer be maintained. You may already have felt this inner contrast building over time, moments of emotional closeness followed by confusion, a sense of warmth interrupted by distance. It can feel like two forces pulling your attention in different directions, But over time, life has a way of revealing which connection is rooted in sincerity and which is shaped by fear, hesitation, or unresolved emotion. Soon there may be a moment you do not expect. Someone may stand before you or reach out to you with emotions they can no longer fully contain. Their composure may falter. Their words may not come out perfectly. But in that imperfection, something real may finally surface, not to harm you, but to bring truth into the open where it can no longer stay hidden. What is being revealed is not meant to break you. It is meant to bring understanding. You will not need to chase explanations or force clarity. It will unfold naturally, in its own timing, through situations that feel simple on the surface, but carry deeper meaning underneath. There is a moment approaching where emotional masks begin to fall away. What remains will be honesty, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes relieving, but always revealing. And in that space, you will begin to see clearly which connection supports your peace and which one disrupts it. One energy in your life feels open, honest, and steady. The other remains shaped by fear, hesitation, and things left unsaid. One feels like early morning light, soft, calm, and naturally reassuring. The other carries the weight of something unresolved that can no longer remain hidden forever. You might even recall moments when your intuition tried to speak to you without words, sudden thoughts about someone, unexpected emotional shifts, a feeling of closeness that seemed to appear without explanation. That inner voice was not random. It was your awareness picking up on subtle emotional truths before your mind could fully interpret them. Very soon, an interaction may take place that appears ordinary at first. A message, a call, or a simple conversation that seems insignificant in the beginning. But within that moment, something deeper may surface. A shift in tone, a pause, a change in expression. And through that, truth may begin to rise gently but unmistakably. The one holding the secret may struggle internally in that moment, not because of manipulation, but because truth becomes harder to contain when emotional pressure reaches its limit. And when that moment arrives, clarity will no longer be something you are searching for. It will be something you are witnessing directly. You have carried yourself through emotional uncertainty with more strength than you likely acknowledge. You continued showing kindness even when certainty was missing. You remained open even when closure was not given. That emotional resilience has shaped the way these connections now respond to you. And as clarity continues to unfold, you will begin recognizing something important. Genuine love does not create confusion. It creates peace. It does not demand constant reassurance. It creates stability. It does not trap you in uncertainty. It allows space while remaining present. Fear behaves differently. It tightens. It hesitates. It overcomplicates. It tries to hold on without offering clarity. And as your awareness grows, the difference between these two emotional states becomes impossible to ignore. What is about to be revealed is not coming to disrupt your life, but to finally align it with emotional truth. What is unfolding is not meant to overwhelm your heart, but to gently guide it toward what is real. Whatever has been hidden is unlikely to remain buried for much longer. And when the truth finally comes forward, it may not arrive through conflict or confrontation. It could be something far quieter, almost unnoticeable at first. A message you had forgotten suddenly reappearing, a simple confession spoken in a moment of honesty, a sudden admission that slips out without intention, or even a dream that lingers in your mind long after waking, carrying a meaning you cannot ignore. And when that moment arrives, something within you will begin to settle. The emotional tension you've been carrying will slowly loosen its grip. The confusion that once surrounded your thoughts will start to dissolve, much like fog fading under the morning sun. Clarity will not feel forced. It will feel natural, as if things are finally returning to their rightful place. You now stand at a quiet turning point between two very different emotional paths. One of them is slowly losing its intensity, fading as its purpose reaches completion. The other is becoming clearer, stronger, and more grounded with time. The fading connection did not come without meaning. It shaped you, strengthened you, and revealed parts of yourself that could only be discovered through emotional challenge. It taught patience, awareness, and inner resilience. But the connection that is beginning to grow carries a different energy entirely. It does not create confusion. It brings calm. It does not demand explanations. It creates understanding. It feels like being seen without having to over-explain yourself or hide parts of who you are. It reflects what trust looks like when it is not forced, and what love becomes when fear is no longer in control. It shows what happens when two hearts naturally move toward honesty instead of silence. This emerging connection will not leave you questioning your place in someone's life. It will not keep you guessing or waiting for clarity that never arrives. Instead, it will feel consistent, steady, grounded, the kind of presence that does not fluctuate between closeness and distance without reason. As this clarity develops, allow yourself to move with it rather than against it. Do not hold on to confusion simply because it is familiar, and do not return to uncertainty once understanding has already begun to form. Life is gradually guiding you toward emotional truth, even if the process unfolds step by step rather than all at once. The person whose feelings are genuine will reveal themselves not through empty words, but through consistent actions. Their care will be seen in how they treat your emotions with respect. Their intentions will be reflected in the small, steady choices they make over time. Their presence will feel dependable rather than unpredictable. Meanwhile, anything that has remained hidden cannot remain hidden indefinitely. What is not aligned with truth always finds a way to surface. And when it does, you may begin to understand why certain moments in your life unfolded the way they did. You may finally see why some connections felt emotionally heavy, while others felt naturally effortless. The period of uncertainty you've been experiencing is not meant to last forever. A new phase is beginning to form, one centered around honesty, emotional clarity, and inner peace. You are moving toward a time where confusion no longer defines your choices. At this stage, it becomes important to trust your own inner awareness. You already know how your body and heart respond differently to each energy in your life. One brings calm, grounding, and emotional ease. The other brings tension, overthinking, and emotional instability. These reactions are not random. They are signals from your deeper intuition trying to guide you. Soon, something unexpected may occur that shifts everything into focus. It may happen during an ordinary conversation, through a simple message, or in a moment that initially seems insignificant. But within that moment, something subtle will change. A pause, a hesitation, a contradiction, or a slip in words that reveals more than intended. And in that instant, what was once unclear will begin to reveal itself. The truth does not always arrive loudly. Often, it appears quietly, in moments that seem small but carry deep meaning beneath the surface. As interactions continue, you may notice a shift in behavior. The one who carries sincerity will feel open and transparent, without needing to overcompensate or hide behind carefully constructed words. Their presence will feel calm and honest, even in silence. On the other hand, the person holding something back may begin to show subtle signs of discomfort, slight inconsistencies, changes in tone, or moments where their composure feels less certain. And this time, your perception will be sharper, not because others are changing, but because you are beginning to see more clearly. What once felt confusing will begin to separate into clarity and illusion. What once felt emotionally tangled will begin to organize itself naturally, and what once felt hidden will slowly rise into awareness without you having to force it. You are entering a moment where truth no longer needs to be chased. It begins to reveal itself on its own timing, and when it does, you will not feel lost. You will feel ready to understand exactly what has been unfolding around you all along. Confusion is no longer being permitted to stay close to your heart. What once felt like a loss may soon reveal itself as freedom in disguise, and what appears to be an ending could quietly unfold as the beginning of something far more meaningful than you expected. Stay present with this message, because a significant conversation is approaching your life. It may not arrive on your schedule, but when it does, something within you will recognize it immediately as a moment that was always meant to find you. The person who truly values you will not hide behind excuses or avoidance. They will not resist honesty when it matters most. Instead, they will come forward with openness. There will be no forced words or rehearsed explanations. Truth will naturally reflect itself through their presence, their tone, and even their silence. And in that moment, a realization may quietly surface within you. Love was never meant to confuse you. It was always meant to bring peace, healing, and emotional clarity. As things continue unfolding, your life may begin to regain balance more quickly than before. Your energy will slowly shift away from chaos and uncertainty and instead begin attracting calm, stability, and emotional ease. The connection that is truly aligned with you will step forward with honesty and sincerity, while the one built on secrecy and avoidance may gradually drift away, not out of conflict or resentment, but because truth can no longer support what was never fully honest to begin with. This transition is not punishment, it is protection, a gentle closing of a chapter that no longer belongs to your future. Remain patient with what is unfolding. Something meaningful is being shaped behind the scenes. Two connections may have crossed your path, but only one carries the courage to love you in a transparent and truthful way, and that is the one life is guiding you toward. Keep your heart open, but also steady. Keep your trust alive, but grounded in awareness. Because what is coming forward will not only reveal who genuinely cares for you, but also how deeply you have been protected throughout your journey. Stay with this awareness because the energy around you is shifting. Truth is beginning to separate itself from illusion. Emotional clarity is forming where confusion once lived. Even now, things are quietly moving toward alignment. There are moments when love is felt before it is ever spoken. That is the kind of connection associated with the one who is genuine. Their presence does not require constant explanation. Even their silence feels understandable to your spirit. At the same time, the other connection, the one carrying unspoken truth, has begun to feel the weight of what has been hidden. There is an inner awareness growing within them that things can no longer remain the same. What was kept in the dark is slowly moving toward exposure. Pay attention to the signs around you. Something significant is forming ahead. A choice may soon appear before you. Not necessarily a logical one, but an emotional and spiritual recognition. One path will feel calm, steady, and familiar as if your heart naturally relaxes into it. The other may feel intense and compelling at first, yet gradually begin to drain your emotional peace over time. This contrast is important to notice. The genuine connection will never rush your emotions. It will not pressure your decisions or disturb your inner balance. It will simply exist with consistency and respect. Meanwhile, the other presence may begin to react more strongly, possibly becoming overly defensive or emotionally unsettled as they sense that truth is no longer avoidable. This reaction often comes when something hidden begins to surface. Remain patient because an unexpected message or interaction may soon reach you. It could come at a quiet moment, perhaps late at night or during a time when your thoughts naturally drift toward them, and when it arrives, it may feel ordinary at first, but carry deeper emotional weight beneath the surface. Notice how you feel afterward. If your spirit feels lighter, that is clarity. If your heart feels heavy or uncertain, that is also information. Your inner awareness is becoming sharper, and it is beginning to guide you more clearly than before. You have lived through enough experiences to recognize what is genuine and what is not. Those difficult chapters were never meant to harden your heart. They were meant to sharpen your understanding. Now you are entering a stage where that wisdom becomes your strength. What is being revealed is not meant to harm you. It is meant to elevate you. Because after truth comes clarity, and after clarity comes a sense of peace that settles the mind and quiets what once felt overwhelming. When answers begin to arrive, allow them to unfold without resistance. Do not chase what is unclear. Do not force what is not flowing naturally. What belongs to you will move toward you with ease. Truth does not need pressure. It does not need persuasion. It stands on its own because it is built on honesty. And as everything becomes clearer, you will begin to see why certain experiences unfolded the way they did. You will understand why some connections created confusion while others brought calm. You will understand why delays, silence, and emotional distance were part of a much larger unfolding. Everything is moving toward understanding. Everything is moving toward emotional alignment. Everything is moving toward a version of love that feels safe, steady, and real. And when that moment arrives, you will realize something important. What was meant for you was never lost. It was simply being prepared. The path ahead is becoming clearer, the truth is drawing closer, and the peace your heart has been quietly searching for is already beginning to enter your life. What is leaving your world is not true love, it is something that had already completed its purpose, and what is entering now carries a deeper sense of sincerity and emotional stability. Consider this a quiet confirmation. The genuine connection does not bring confusion. It does not rely on secrecy or emotional uncertainty. It exists with honesty, consistency, and calm understanding. As this presence moves closer, your inner world will begin to settle. The overthinking will reduce. The emotional tension will ease, and a quiet sense of recognition will grow within you, as if something long awaited is finally aligning. This is the beginning of emotional peace returning to your life. You have already endured the storms that were meant to shape you. You have already learned from what was not aligned, and now you are approaching the connection that reflects clarity instead of confusion. Very soon, truth will no longer remain hidden in fragments or uncertainty. It will stand fully revealed, and what once felt unclear will finally make sense in a way that brings relief rather than confusion. Two paths once existed before you, but only one was always meant to remain. And as everything settles into place, you will understand that what you went through was never meaningless. It was preparation, protection, and redirection towards something more aligned with your peace. Now, the final chapter is beginning to unfold, and this time it carries the energy of clarity, honesty, and emotional safety. In the end, everything begins to settle into clarity. What was once confusing slowly loses its power over your heart, and what was meant for you starts to feel unmistakably clear. The emotional noise fades, and in its place, a quiet understanding takes over, showing you that nothing you went through was wasted. Every experience, every silence, every unanswered question was guiding you toward this moment of awareness. You no longer need to chase explanations or force certainty. What belongs in your life will remain steady, honest, and peaceful. And what was built on secrecy, fear, or inconsistency will naturally step away without struggle. This is your turning point. You are stepping out of emotional uncertainty and into alignment with truth. A connection rooted in sincerity will no longer feel distant or unclear. It will feel calm, stable, and real. Not dramatic, not confusing, just right in a way your spirit recognizes without effort. And as this shift completes, you will finally understand something important. You were never being led in circles. You were being led forward. Every delay protected you, every ending redirected you, and every lesson prepared you for a love that does not question your worth or disturb your peace. Now, as clarity replaces confusion, you are not losing anything meant for you. You are simply returning to what has always been aligned with your heart. And in that realization, peace finally becomes permanent.